What up, fam? Hit that like, hit that subscribe. We're here to watch another Phillies win with you. Let's go.
Oh my God! I'm embarrassed! You're flying!
Welcome in. It's almost time.
Welcome in, everybody. This is A2D Wednesday Nights, only on A2D Radio. Every Wednesday night, we are brought to you by Phillies Sports Trips. And listen, hey, Birds fans, Phillies fans, Tom Arnone, I got some gigantic news for you. Not only have the Eagles released their schedule for the season, but Phillies' schedule's already been out, and you can still book a trip. So make sure you go check out my good friends over at phillysportstrips.com and reserve your spot today. You'll get to watch Eagles games in great cities and hang out with former Eagles like Hollis Thomas and the likes. Philly Sports Trips books the best hotels and has the best Eagles available. You'll have a great time. Tell them A2D sent you. Go book now. What's up, boys? As always, Frank Vespi, Chrome, Ralph Del Vecchio. No Eden was with us and he left us. No Greg, no Ryan tonight. Happy birthday, Rye. Everybody out there, we got a lot to talk about. Doc Rivers, he's spoken. The doc has spoken. And we got a lot to digest there, a lot to unpack when you talk about the things that were said. Some things were said, right? And that's what happened. And obviously that's what happens when guys lose their job too. So we'll let you know what we think's real, what we think's fake, and what we think's maybe in between on all the things Doc Rivers went over in his time here in Philadelphia. Some replacements maybe for James Harden. We'll go over a little bit of that. So we'll have our Sixers talk at the end of the show. Standout players. Well, we got a couple things. We'll have our concerns with the Phillies, standout players in June for the Phillies, positives with the Phillies, and everything ties in Phillies, D-backs, live reactions, right into our poll. And our poll question for tonight is the Phillies' offensive struggles are over. Do you agree or disagree? Let us know. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, that's where we're live. Everywhere you get your podcasts, we're there as well. Hit the like, subscribe, follow, join the conversation with us. Let us know. Are they over? Are the struggle's done? Listen, when you talk about baseball, there's always going to be a circle back to struggles. You know what I mean? Especially at the plate. So, I mean, are they over for right now? Like, can we put the past, put the really bad start with runners in scoring position, RBIs, runs scored, those types of things that were really glaring? Yeah, I think that's in the past. Right? I do. This offense was too good for that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
We talked about it, right? We talked about that, those kinds of things. So, I mean, I agree they're over for now. That doesn't mean they can't creep back in, right? Doesn't mean you can't go through a stretch of 3 or 4 games where you're really struggling at the plate. That's where good pitching comes in, to bail you out in those types of situations. So, I mean, I agree they're over for now. But, I mean, like anything at the plate, there's peaks and valleys, right? You hope to have more peaks and valleys, right? That means you're having a good year. But there's always valleys when it comes to being at the plate, right? I mean, I talk to all my hitters about that consistently, right? That it's a peak and valley thing, right? You're hot, you're cold, you're in the middle. You go through points where you feel like you can't hit, feel like there's points where you feel like you can't get out, right? So that's just part of baseball. But like we talked about, when you were talking about runs scored and RBIs, you know, as I've started these conversations here in the last month, especially, you know, while doing a show with Mitch, right? They were 24th at one point in runs as a baseball team, and they were 24th in RBIs. Well, now you fast forward, 16th in runs scored, 17th in RBIs.
Yeah, they're starting to get going at the right point.
Right? That's been trending up for them in the right direction since how bad it's been, right? And that was the only difference. It wasn't average. It wasn't things like that. They were swinging it. It was really the glaring ones were like, is that real? And we knew it when we were watching, right? How many times with runners in scoring position, this team couldn't get a big hit. And then, like anything else, it's contagious and it starts happening and you start feeling better about yourself. And we played really good baseball to start off June here. And you hope it continues. We're up 2-0 tonight. And obviously we'll give you live reactions to tonight's game as it continues. But I agree. I mean, I think that really putrid starts over.
Yeah, I agree. For me on this side too, I agree to the poll as well. I think the struggles are over. I think just, everybody, with the whole missing Reese Hoskins and, we just had to find that one guy that could at least fill some of the gap for Reese. And I think Castellanos right now is doing his part. He's having tremendous, these last 2 weeks have been amazing for him. And he almost had a home run last inning right there while we were starting up the show. He just missed it. But like you said, Tommy, throughout the whole, I guess, the first 25% of the season so far, the early part of the season, it was, you had a man on first and third with one out, you couldn't score him. And that seemed like it was the trend for the Phillies to start off the year where they had multiple runners in scoring positions and they couldn't get them home or score, timely runs. And there was a bunch of times where, the game was on the line or Trea Trea Turner was up the bat with the bases loaded and 2 outs and he couldn't get it done. And it was like, well, here's another game ends like this with multiple guys on and, you're 1 for 15 with runners in scoring position. That's the reason why you lost the game. But these last 2 weeks for the Phillies have definitely been a different team with runners in scoring positions and getting timely hits. Obviously, winning the Dodgers series was huge for us. And hopefully we can win this Diamondback series, which will also be huge for us. Because then I think after this, we go right to Oakland. And Oakland's a dumpster fire as it is. Hopefully we can get a sweep there. And we're feeling pretty good coming back home.
Well, not right now. They're not because
it's 7. They're 7. They won 7 in a row, right? Moneyball might be starting to kick in a little bit here, but all in all,
they actually had a successful protest.
The Phillies should sweep Oakland.
Yeah, they should sweep Oakland. Yeah, you would hope.
Frank, you want to go next?
Sure. I mean, I also agree to the poll. I mean, Ralph, you pretty much hit every single point out there regarding the Phillies the past couple of weeks. They've been playing on fire. Nick Castellanos, I mean, he looks like a completely different ball player from what we saw last year. The strikeouts been less frequent. He's been hitting a lot more. He's that reliable right fielder that we need that could also provide that power. And a lot of guys have been really stepping up. Cody Clemens, I mean, of all people, who'd have thought that he would step up and be a very serviceable first baseman to replace Reese and Derek Hall. But yeah, I've been pretty impressed with the Phils so far in June, and June's the month where the bats start warming up and they're starting to show it.
And I think last week we sat here as well and said, we got to at least have a winning record at the end of June, and we're sitting pretty nice right now, going, so like 50% going through June right now. We're sitting pretty well, having that positive record to end the month. So we keep this rolling. I think we start feeling good about ourselves going into July and going towards the trade deadline as well.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, Cody Clemens is a good name. He's been a bright spot at the plate for sure and in the field. So nice to see guys step up. But it was all about the big dogs of this lineup. Getting right. And like you said, June started and Schwarber started losing baseballs, and seems like things followed after that offensively for this baseball team.
Yeah, I'm gonna tepidly agree to the poll here, and I know I've been really critical with the offense, but you're seeing as usual. It seems every June, Kyle Schwarber's bat's starting to eat up. Bryson Stott's been hitting really well, and the things they're doing, you're starting to see some of the small ball things, right? Like today, just drive the runner in, ground ball other side. You're not popping up. You're seeing those kinds of things, which I think you were not seeing earlier in the year, where it seemed like they were going for big shots, trying to go for the big inning, the crooked numbers, doing the small things. Unlike that. I was just about to praise the fact that, you guys brought up Cody Clemens. I'm glad you did. That's a name I was going to bring up as well. I know you and Mitch talked about him too, Tom, on Here's the Thing, which check out on Mondays, by the way, with Tom and Mitch Williams. I think Cody's been a really bright spot, particularly really tough to replace Reese. And when you talk about, having Reese's kind of presence around now, I think helps out a little bit, obviously, in chemistry-wise. But Cody's been really good on both sides of the ball in a sport that I feel like defense is very undervalued in. Seeing the offense kind of come out a little bit and situational hitting's been a lot better. The thing that's going to help the pitching is the defense. And I think that's a big bright spot, having Cody Clemens playing the way he is at first base, which is a position you need to have a good defensive first baseman. Obviously, Nick Castellanos has been fantastic all year. But you're starting to see guys start to come around, hit more consistently, hitting bigger spots. And they're putting a lot of runs up on the board lately, these last couple series, and that's huge because you really weren't seeing that. They weren't pitching well. They weren't driving runs across the board. You guys mentioned they were leaving a lot of players on base in big positions in the game, big situations in the game, and I think that they're now finally, I know me and you talked about this, Tom, about the trending. I do see the trend now consistently starting to go up. I'd like to see another series or two to see it kind of maintain this level. I would love to see them, including the last series, win maybe 4 out of 5 series to really start to thrive. But listen, they're in a position that they can strike. If they can hit, play a little bit of defense to support the pitching, they're in good shape. And obviously that one play as we're on here is kind of the anti that, but you haven't really seen much of that. So no, I like what I'm seeing from the Phillies right now, and their bullpen has pitched really, really well for the most part. And maybe at the deadline, that's where they need to be buyers, whether it's bullpen or another starting pitcher to add some depth to this team. But they're trending in the right direction now.
Yeah, I think the extra wild card hurts it a little bit too, because there's even more teams that feel like they have a chance, especially right now, to really be able to add something that you would want to add. Because, I would love to add a fifth starter. I think a lot of teams would.
What I think
around baseball.
I think would be a real key right now, though? If Schwarber can do what he does typically every year in June, and obviously having Trea sandwiched between him and Castellanos is hitting really well, Trea's going to see more pitches to him. So I think Schwarber is kind of a key this month. Let's see what he can do. And if he can go on one of those tears that he typically goes through in June, with Nick hitting the way he's hitting, there you go, getting out of
What a pick by Ranger there.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw that. What a pick by Ranger. He made up for the bad throw, I'll tell you that much. But there's another good play by Cody Clemens, right?
Yeah.
Like a ball hit to the right side over there. You just, all right, you can start walking out. With 2 outs, you can start walking out.
But I think that could be a key. If Schwarber can hit like Schwarber does in June and can maintain that, that's going to put Trea in a lot better position to see more pitches as well.
Yeah, he didn't just hit in June last year, right? I mean, it carried. He hit for a while. He hit all summer. I mean, maybe not to the level of June, but he definitely hit all summer.
Well, that's what I'm saying. June seems to be his starting point. It seems like he hits 150 every year, and then June hits, and that batting average starts to climb up to 215, 220. With a guy like him, if he's driving in RBIs and he's hitting home runs, and it's not just solo homers in the leadoff spot, I don't care what his batting average is. As long as he's situationally hitting and contributing, which is what he did last year. If he could use this month to catapult himself and start doing that again, that's great for the whole lineup.
Agreed. I definitely agree. No, what do you say to the poll?
Hey, how you doing, everybody?
No, we're good. Thanks for asking.
Look, I think, obviously this team has shown for the better part for most of this season, they're an up and down team right now. But yes, lately they've definitely shown some signs of life. We're absolutely hitting better. We're hitting better with runners in scoring position. Most importantly, Schwarber has certainly shown up to the party the last few weeks. Definitely June seems like a great month for him. And like you alluded to, Tommy, I mean, he started last June. He kind of kick-started his season, and it carried right through the postseason there. and damn near got us a world championship. So
look at his numbers through his career too. Now, June is a month for
Yeah.
Schwarber. If he don't hit in June, you can expect probably a bad year because it seems like every year in June he finally
Right, he
hits
turns
starts.
it on.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
expect triple. You expect triple A. You know what I mean? You can almost like say like you might want to send this guy down.
Right. I mean, he's certainly picked it up, and the rest of this lineup has. I mean, really, for me, let's try to get a series win in Phoenix here and take care of the Diamondbacks. And it's critical. The Diamondbacks are a good baseball team. Who knows? They may end up fading the second half of the year, but right now they are playing. The Diamondbacks coming into this series were playing pretty good ball. So it'd be nice to go out there on the road and take care of business. I mean, you figure you have the Oakland A's next up. You got to sweep them. I mean, look, good baseball teams take care of bad teams like the Oakland A's. Let's face it, the A's are playing for the future. They're not playing for 2023. So
I mean, the guys, hold on. The guys on the field are playing for 2023.
Mm-hmm.
The guys on the field are playing for their. Oh my God, he just barehanded that. Did you guys see that? Nick
Right off the bag.
Nick Ahmed off the bag. Cody Clemens hit up the middle. Ahmed's playing him right there. Tips off the bag. He barehands it. Throws him out.
I love the shift.
What I'll say to you, Noah, is that the Rays are a really good baseball team.
They're playing.
Hold on. No. The Rays are a really good baseball team. I'm making this clear to you. All right. They're about to sweep out the Rays. So all I'm saying is they're playing really good baseball, and there's a bunch of guys that are like 27 and 28 on the A's, which it's like they're either going to find themselves a home on another big league team, or they won't be in the big leagues much longer. Okay, because there's not a lot of 27, 28-year-old guys that you even know who they are on their roster. All right. That being said, maybe everybody else is playing for down the road in Oakland. Okay. But not the players on the field, just to correct you. They stink, okay, but right now they're playing very good.
They're playing for their major league careers. I get that. Yeah. I mean,
you guys just don't just poo-poo a team, and then we're gonna go in there and get freaking swept out of there. Like, come on.
Yeah, I'll put it to you this way: we're in no way, shape, or form able to show up to any series and just roll our gloves out on the field. And I hope this ball team already got that wake-up call. Because guess what? We're 8.5 behind Atlanta. So what we need to do is take care of business in Phoenix, find a way to win a series, go to Oakland, and at minimum take 2 out of 3.
Well, if you take 3 out of 4 here, if you find a way to take 3 out of 4 here, okay, then you can get 2 out of 3 in Oakland, and it's a great trip. Now, if you split here is where I start to feel like I need the, hey, that's where I feel like I need and want the sweep in Oakland.
I do think one thing to note that we talked about over the last week or so was we had mentioned the Detroit series being an opportunity to catapult yourself with a little bit of confidence, and I feel like that may be coming to fruition here because they played well in Detroit, well enough. They got scratched out a bunch of wins out of there, and then you come in and they go against the Dodgers. They win a series there. To me, I mean, listen, the Diamondbacks are a very good team right now too. If you can split in Arizona, it's a good opportunity. If you can win 3 out of 4, that's even better. But even a split in Arizona with how good that team has played, I think that's huge to beat the Dodgers and then have this. That's that catapult, and it looks like they did build a little bit of confidence coming out of that Detroit series.
Yeah, for sure.
Right now, in the month of June, Phillies are 8-4.
Yeah,
8-4 in the month of June.
Yeah, and Crum, and the other thing is Monday with Mitch, we talked about are the Phillies back, right? And on Monday, to me, they felt back. I was riding that too. Like, and there's only a couple of days that passed here, right? But like that's how I felt. Heading out to Arizona, I felt like we were back. We were playing really good baseball, and he started to feel like the gel was coming around, right? They were starting to gel a little bit as a team, right? And picking each other up in different ways that you can pick each other up through a 9-inning baseball game, etc., right? In different ways, right? How Ranger picks himself up there, right? Okay, or picks up Bryson, who I should say, because regardless, you should be coming out with an out on that play, even on a bad throw. Like then you become a first baseman. That's rule number one. But you know what I mean. So you sort of felt it getting better. So like I don't see it changing. Like just like last year, I see this continuing. Them playing at a high clip, right? If that's 7 out of 7 and 3 in every 10 type clips, that's sort of where I see them at. 6 and 4, 7 and 3s from here on out, right? If you want to break down every 10, okay, or you get scorching hot, right? And you rattle off a bunch in a row, and then you have some ups and downs. You know what I mean? Either way, this is a playoff team. Unless major injuries happen, obviously, this is the team you expect them to be.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly think we're a playoff contender, and we still call me foolish, but we still even have a shot at the division. I mean, look, the telltale sign, you get through Arizona, you got to go out and play Oakland, and then guess what? When we come home, boys, we got Atlanta coming to town, and we got to take care of business there. And then we have the Mets, who right now, yes, may look dreadful. They're 1-9 in their last 10. The Mets are, and I know they're 5 games below 500 and sliding backwards, but they may be still. We yet again this year we've found it difficult. We haven't handled the Mets well. We've been okay against the Braves and haven't played very well against the Mets. Well, it's payback time. We'll be heading into early July by the time the Braves come into town. Those are 2 critical series back to back at home against Atlanta and against the Mets. We need to take care of business there.
And that being at home is important too. You got to take care of business in your own house. You're not on the road. And if you're rolling the way they're rolling now, you got to come home and you have to take care of business.
Yeah, we need to win both of those series, and I think that'll really kickstart us to a good second half of the season.
Listen, if this team comes out, the Detroit series, the catapult, beat the Dodgers, split or take the series from the Arizona, at least win the series against Oakland, and then they come out and they win a series against Atlanta, the team's back. I mean, I take Detroit to take Oakland, whatever it is. Use them as confidence boosters if you have an opportunity. But you beat and or split with Arizona, Dodgers, and the Braves. That's something
all
to look at.
All 3 playoff teams too, respectfully.
They're not beating chumps. That's some of the top teams in the upper echelon of this league right now.
Yeah, they've been good at home. Obviously, they're 19-11. 14-23 on the road going into the night. I mean, that's where their struggles have been.
Which is why being at home against Atlanta is so important. That's your house.
Oh yeah. I'm just
taking
saying,
care of business.
It'd be nice. Yeah. It'd be nice to come out of this road trip feeling really good about yourselves, playing better baseball on the road. That's where I was going with that. You guys are right. We're everything at home. And the Mets have, the Mets are our daddy right now, essentially. As much as you can say that we used to be their daddy, but right now they own us. They really do. I don't care where we play them. They own us. Definitely up in, Flushing. Okay, they definitely own us up in Flushing, New York.
Yeah.
So, I mean that would be a nice thing to change. Would be to be able to play some better baseball against the Mets.
I mean, with the Mets struggling right now, we can get that turnaround. They haven't been playing great.
Good pitch. Good pitch. Phillies up 2-0 here. We're bottom 4.
Seems like John Malmos is laughing at the idea that I stated we still have a shot at the division.
Well, John's like a Phillies hater. John's a Phillies hater, just to clarify.
I hear you, John. You still got 110 or so games to go.
My team stinks, and the division is still a possibility. Nobody is out of the division in June, especially early mid-June. And if you can turn it on, and this team, Phillies proved it last year.
Hey, if the Phils play 700 ball the rest of the way, They have a good shot at it.
You never know what happens. You never know what happens. Double by
he's still playing.
the double.
I feel like
by
Suarez
Longoria.
has pitched a pretty good game so far. I didn't like his pitch count the first couple innings, but it seems like he's kind of settled in now at this point. I know he just gave up the double, but for the most part, he's settled in pretty well so far.
Yeah, that's probably the worst pitch he's thrown all night.
Yeah. Threw it right in his wheelhouse. Longoria. I almost forget that he's still in the league.
Dude, that's what I'm saying, man. Oh my God. He's still playing. He's actually not doing too bad this year either.
No, well.
Just a little bit outside there. I don't know where the hell that missed.
That was a little slightly outside.
He's batting 226, 9 home runs, and 19 RBIs from Longoria this year so far.
At this point in his career, if that's what you're getting from Evan Longoria, it's not too bad. He's still got
37 years of age.
That's crazy to me. It almost makes me feel old. I remember when he came in. He was like a young supposed to be a young prodigy at third base.
With Tampa.
Yeah.
Hey.
The Tampa Renaissance right there.
You guys beat him in the World Series. Think about that.
Didn't he hit the home run that sent him to the World Series, didn't he? Or sent him into the playoffs?
He did.
I believe so.
I think he hit the home run in the was the playing game that was like that extra day.
Yeah, against the Yankees, right? Against the Yankees, right?
I think so.
John, who would you replace Noah with, John? Right now, like you're saying, number one, the biggest challenge for this team, or number one Noah, and then the bullpen games. I would probably reverse that, John. All right, if you want to be like anti-Noah, fine, but like live your life. But like to put that ahead of the bullpen is sort of the bullpen games is sort of like, I don't know if I'll go that far.
Yeah, I hate this idea of bullpen games, right? I think that's obviously more of a concern. I mean, I'm not the biggest Nola guy, but especially at this point with the way the Phillies are playing, he's going to be key going forward. I know you and Mitch talked about, do you look to move him at some point? Depends on where the Phillies are at right now. I would say no, but I hate the idea of bullpen games. To me, there's no reason teams shouldn't have enough depth that they can have a guy that can go out and spot starts and get you 6 innings or 5 innings or even 4 innings and not have to do a bullpen game.
Hey guys, you want to have bullpen games? And then we're doing bullpen games already because we can't find a fifth starter. But hey, let's maybe move on from Aaron Nola. It makes sense.
Yeah.
So back-to-back bullpen games? Hell yeah. That sounds amazing.
I know Nola's been average at best this year, but they can't afford to move on from him, or we're going to have a hell of a lot more, many more bullpen games to come. Jesus, we already can't find a fifth starter.
John, you're talking about, you're not wrong. They did not. I mean, they went on to Taiwan Walker, who is what he is. I mean,
they spent good money.
Yeah, but
it's not like they didn't spend good money on him.
Could they have gone out and got more depth at the starting pitching spot? Absolutely, but you're not going to rob Peter to pay Paul. Like, what are you going to? You're not going to get anything back in return. That's going to make that. That's going to rectify the fact that the front office didn't do enough in the starting pitching department.
Well, so they did. They did do things, though. They did do things. I mean, bringing in Walker, that's 4 deep, though. I mean, like, I hate this. I hate this, like, thing. Like you got, what do you got, 50 guys in camp? If it was that easy and that many guys were available, first off, listen to me, guys. There's a reason most teams are looking for fifth starters. Look around baseball. It's not just here in Philly. It's not just here. I just want to just make that clear to everybody. It's not like that's just a Philly thing. There's not enough good starting pitching, period, around Major League Baseball. There isn't. That's the facts. There's not enough good starting pitching around Major League Baseball. There's great starters, but nobody's really – name all the teams that are really 4 deep in the rotation like the Phillies. Because that's what they are. They're 4 deep, though. And a lot of money – hold on. 3 of those 4 guys that they're deep with is a lot of money tied up into. No, so the people that say, like, oh, money, they are 3 deep starting pitching-wise with money. Just to be clear, like, I know you can spend as much as you want, but they went out and they got their bullpen even deeper. So they brought in Walker and they got their bullpen deeper. I really thought that they thought that Bailey Falter could be a fifth starter, and he got hammered all around this year. So it's not like they didn't have it.
He got destroyed this year.
It's not like they didn't have it, and then they went in thinking bullpen games. So let's be clear here. They didn't think that. And I'll be the first one to crush the Phillies when they're rightfully so. I did it on these airways every year until last year. So, I got no problem crushing them. But to be fair, like they were, it's not like somebody got hurt and that's why they don't have a fifth starter. They decided this guy's so bad that we'd rather go bullpen games until we figure out an alternative option.
I think. All right. So you're definitely not wrong. And I think and it's not a debate to have right now. It would be are they, as far as the evaluation of talent and bringing talent in, because I did not like the Taijuan Walker deal. I did not think he was the solution for your 4 deep. That's a whole different conversation. Are they evaluating guys the right way and allocating the money the right way? That's a whole different conversation.
Well, I don't think he's brought in to be your third, though. He's brought in to be your fourth. What Ranger did is what they really feel about Ranger. You know what I mean?
I think Ranger earned that, especially in the World
Series. Yeah, for
very
sure.
Well in the playoffs. I don't even like Walker as a fourth. I am not a Walker guy. I'm
not telling you I am.
No. I know. That's what I'm saying. That's where we're having a whole different conversation. The effort was there. As far as, do we want to go back and then question the front office of, are they evaluating who's the right fit in that role? That's a whole different conversation. But you can't sit there and say they didn't evaluate any of that.
No, and listen, they let Eflin go, right? Because they felt like that was too much of a price tag for him. They went with Walker. I mean, they spent money in the pen. You know what I mean? It's not like they didn't and they valued it. They valued their bullpen. So I mean, and they brought in Trea Turner. I got no problem crushing the Phillies, but like to say they didn't have a really good offseason, it's mind blowing. Not that John said that, just like in general, right? Like they say they didn't have a really good offseason is really not fair to say. Even if they somehow don't make the playoffs, to me it wasn't because of the front office. It wasn't the willingness to go spend money. It was none of those reasons. Like actually, quite the opposite. You know what I mean? It would be a truly players fail if they don't get to the dance, right? You know what I mean?
Oh, great! And part of that is
John, hold on, because when people are wrong, I can't deal with wrong. I can't deal with wrong. They didn't put too much emphasis on Painter. They didn't. He wasn't making as a fifth starter out of camp, and if you think he was, I think you're wrong. Hence why Falter came out of camp. Go ahead, no. Sorry, I just don't. I think that's wrong.
If they somehow miss the postseason, which honestly, I'm pretty damn certain we're going to the dance. Yes, we need to play better. Yes, I would feel a hell of a lot better if we play 700 or 750 ball the rest of the way, which we may very well might. But if we miss the dance, fellas, it's when you take 30 or 35 homers and Rhys Hoskins out of the lineup, and a guy who everybody on the team loves and respects for the most part, that's a big deal. And I think some of us, nobody on this platform, but some of us amongst the fan base were kind of poo-pooing that, and it's a big deal when you miss a player like that. It's a big deal when, you have an Aaron Nola and a Zach Wheeler, albeit Wheeler has pitched pretty well of late. They've been a little up and down this season, and it's just the little things, not playing as well defensively in the field overall as a team, not running the bases as well as a team, not coming through in clutch situations. All of those things add up, fellas. And if we can at least turn some of that around, I see no reason why this team can't win 88 to 92 games and be right there.
I agree with you, Noah. I agree with you. I mean, I think just needing some things to line up for him, like getting a guy like Ranger Suarez back, right? That make your
that's huge.
They make your rotation deeper, right? Like they be able to get Harper back, okay, with knowing you're already without Reese, right? Like to make your lineup deeper. Like those things matter. Those things matter. And then to get guys in place and then get guys back to maybe where they're comfortable and to figure out where your lineup is best fitted and suited, where guys are suited for, right? Like all that, right? It takes a little bit of time to sort of to figure out a little bit, right? That's why it's not necessarily how you start in baseball. It's really how you finish, right? And I think we've all watched baseball long enough.
Just ask the Mets last year. I mean, the Mets won what? How many games? And they didn't even make the NLCS. So, exactly. Just ask the Atlanta Braves. I mean, they won the fucking division. And look how it ended up for them. We kicked their ass in the playoffs. I mean, you can look, April, May, and June, more or less the first 3 months of the season, especially with the additional playoff spots now, is about survival. It's about survival. I mean, you're not going to hoist the World Series trophy in June, guys, but you can play your way out of contention. So, I mean, the Phillies, as long as they just continue to tread water here, get guys healthy, and, the core nucleus of this team plays up to their capability, I think we're having a much different conversation in September. And I think we're talking about a pennant race.
I do agree with you, but I think at this point, this is the point where you need to do a little more than tread water, and that's why it's good to see that they're starting to.
No, I hear you. They need to play 700 ball the rest of the way.
Up to this point, they needed to tread water, but start getting the middle of June. That's where you need to start turning it around about 3 weeks to a month before the All-Star break. Because if you're not doing it by then you have to have major concerns. But to your point, you're right. They've done what they needed to do to this point. They're getting healthier, and they've now built a little bit of a chemistry as far as what they lost. Because as much as we want to hound on Reese and maybe he starts getting in that conversation of underappreciated Philadelphia athletes as far as what he means to the team, you're seeing it a little bit this year. That's a big loss. That's a huge loss in the middle of your lineup, and it's a huge loss as far as leadership on the team. So they're finding, they're getting healthier. The pitching staff's getting healthier. I think they found a little bit of good lightning in the bottle as far as Kimbrel in the back end of the bullpen has been really big for them. They've tread water, and now they're starting to turn the corner. This is where you need to say.
Yeah, the tread water.
The bullpen for us has been tremendous.
All right, I heard two things at once. Noah, what did you say?
Sorry, fellas. I said they've tread water long enough to be able to allow them to find their stride and hit their stride. And I think, I really think this team has a great shot at playing really great baseball the rest of the way here.
I mean, they still have a lot of games left against Atlanta. So to think they can't cover a lot of ground between now and the end of the year is silly. Right. So everybody's saying question mark. Listen, I'm not a Phillies fan. I know baseball, though. Watched baseball my entire life, played baseball. You're never out of it in June. Unless you're the Oakland A's.
Yeah.
Different conversation, right?
Yeah. It was over for them once April 1st hit. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Reverse protests. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, reverse protests and revealing a brand new Tropicana field. We're all good here.
But listen, 28 of the teams in Major League Baseball are still in it in June.
Yep. And Ralph, you said something about the bullpen?
Yeah, I was just saying how on Chrome's part with Kimbrel at the end of the bullpen was actually pretty good. I mean, the bullpen's been solid for us, right? It's just that fact that early on in the year that, I think everybody's question marks was just the starting rotation where, we all knew that coming into this year that Zach and Aaron was going to have a slow start because the 1 and 2, they're the 1 and 2 guys, and they pitched the most innings last year going into the playoffs and into the World Series as well. And if you're a baseball guy or a Phillies fan, you kind of knew that slow start was probably going to happen, and it did for us, right? And it seemed like the bats were alive more than the pitching there for the starting rotation. But so far the pitching's been picking up for us. The bullpen hasn't been the problem, which is very, very weird for the Phillies, because usually it's the other way around, right? The starting rotation is pretty good, but then the bullpen on the back end is shitting their pants, and they're blowing saves or blowing leads like they always do. But so far the bullpen's been pretty nice for us so far throughout this year.
Yeah, and definitely guys are starting to gel together, and I think that was the important thing with this bullpen. Is we lost some key pieces in the bullpen, But yeah, we got some new pieces. They got time to gel, and they're getting it all together. And of course, you got like 3 guys on the comeuppance in the next couple months. You know, Painter might be back. You know, we might be seeing him in Philadelphia once his rehab's complete. I don't know how many more bullpen sessions he needs to do, but he had one yesterday, I believe. He had one yesterday. He had another one today. So I think we're probably going to see some rehab starts in Clearwater for him.
Who's this? Who's this again?
Painter.
Yeah.
Painter, and then you have Abel. We might see a glimpse from him like September or something.
He might be a September call up somewhere.
Yeah, he might be a September. McGarry, I know everybody's been talking about like, hey, we didn't have Griff McGarry come up. I mean, he could be up to, if he's not going to be one of the pieces dealt, you know, come the deadline. I could see McGarry in Philadelphia, maybe somewhere around September, maybe before that, but we'll just see where this team's going to go from here.
No,
but
and I think a benefit for them too, when you look at the bullpen now, you know, you obviously have guys like Sir Anthony, but then you bring in a guy like Kimbrel who's pitching how he is. You have a lot of experience.
And Alvarado was locked up before the
Yeah.
injury, right? Before he got hurt, Alvarado was one of our best. What was one of the best arms, if not the best arm in our bullpen before his injury.
You have
I think at one point Alvarado had a .97 or .98.
Yeah, it was real low.
Right out of the pen, and he's been lights out this year for us so far.
You have a lot of experience now, and I'm talking about big game experience, because you look at what Alvarado, what Sir Anthony, and all that did in the playoffs last year. Adding a guy like a Kimbrel who's pitching as he is this year,
right?
A lot of experience in the back end of the bullpen, and as the season goes on, you know, you're going to be able to mix and match if you need to give some of these guys some rest so you don't wear your bullpen down. There's a lot of benefits to it. I do think, particularly if they continue to trend in this direction, they are going to have to go out and get a starting pitcher.
Exactly.
It has to happen. There's nothing else they need at the deadline. It has to be a starting pitcher.
Exactly.
I think the way for the approach for the trade deadline for the Phillies is, I think we sat here a couple of times while we were talking Phillies and saying, okay, if you have a bad June, right? Because June was the month for us, right? Because we all knew the bats were going to get going, and obviously they have gone.
When you start getting All-Star break, if you're like 12 games out, 13, 14 games out, you got a problem.
Well, that's the point too. I think we sat here multiple times and said June is the month for us, right? If we can end June on a positive note and be above 500 ending June, then maybe we can sit back for another week or 2 weeks and see how this pitching is before we make a move. But now, but if you also have the flip end of it, if you have a terrible June, you end up having a terrible June. And like you said, Chrome, you're 9-10 games out. You're like, do I make a move now, or do I wait a little bit longer, or do I pull the trigger right now and get somebody, and hopefully it's just the Band-Aid that we need to get going again.
Well, I think one of the keys too is the play of Cody Clemens, because you were looking at that as a potential position. You know, you guys, I think it was on this show right earlier in the year where somebody was trying to say that, and I love Sosa, but somebody was trying to say Sosa could be the answer at first base long term, which is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. His bread and butter
ridiculous.
His bread and butter is being a utility guy, being able to move around and fill in different spots, and spots start where you really needed him to. And I think you looked at it where early in the year or a month ago, you might have said to yourself, "Oh, sorry, I got Ramona over here, Bark."
Oh, hi, Ramona.
You'd have said to yourself,
Who said that?
Early in the year?
Yeah, was it
It
Greg?
was in the chat. There was like 2 or 3 people earlier shows dropping that in. I said it was ridiculous.
By the way,
I thought you meant like
by Ranger. Another great.
Yeah. I was just curious. Yeah, another great inning, Ralphie. Yep.
But the idea now is, you looked at it and you said, listen, if they're competing, is your biggest concern going out and getting a first baseman for the stretch run, or going out and getting a starting pitcher? Right now I'm looking at it and it's clear. I think Clemens and if Hall does come back and you can mix and match and do what you need, starting pitching is what you need to go out and get. And if they can go out and get a really good guy to fit into this rotation, this team's ready for another stretch run.
Yeah. I mean, they should be. They definitely should be. Debo, I mean, I like Connor Brogdon. You know, he's not a back end a pen guy, per se, but I think he's a good guy in like the 6th, 7th inning. You know, that can get you some outs in this league. He's got a good changeup and get guys roll over a little bit. So I don't mind Connor Brogdon at all.
I think that's a good thing with this team too, Tom, because we were just talking about it, right? You got Kimbrel, you have Sir Anthony, you have Alvarado when he comes back. Like, you know, they have a lot of depth at the back end of the bullpen. They could shore up another spot in the middle of that bullpen too for those middle innings, 6th, 7th inning. You're good. You're in real good shape.
Elliot, yeah, we hope to, weather permitting, at the end of the show if we get that far.
The storms are rolling in.
Yeah.
The storms are rolling in.
With maybe a touch from Canadian wildfire smoke. I don't know.
I would love Bieber, Elliot. I don't know if we have enough to get Bieber. Not saying we don't.
I think you would have to pay him too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the money.
Go the rental rights. Way.
Yeah, okay. So I mean, coming up at the end of his deal here, so you can give up a little bit less.
Yeah, I think this is his last year in Cleveland. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I'll
Shane
pull up the
Bieber is.
track.
I don't know if I feel like if he's not going to pitch in the postseason, you know, right? Like, I don't know.
The Biebs is on a one. Well, he's on arbitration right now, so he's got a. So he'll be
so he's on arbitration
25.
until 2025. Yep.
In 25. Yep.
And his salary is just 1 year 10. 1 year 10 flat.
Yep.
Ralph, how's he been pitching this year?
Give me 1 second.
He's 5-3. He's 5-3 with a 3.29.
Not bad.
64 strikeouts, 23 walks. So, you know, not bad.
No, not bad at all. I just
Well,
don't
let's
know
make
what.
a deal.
I just don't know what Cleveland would want for him. He's arbitration still, so, and then he's a free agent in 25. So it's like, what? I mean, I'm not giving a high prospect up for a guy that's in arbitration and then becomes a free agent in 2 years, another year down the line in 25.
Well, if the Guardians are just trying to shed salary or whatever, maybe you just give them a bag of balls and they're good enough with that.
Because I don't even know where Cleveland
They may
is
not
sitting.
want much.
And I feel like they're going to want much for him.
It's hard. It's hard with this extra wild card spot now to talk about in mid-June. Who's going to be buyers and sellers, right? Because I think there's maybe
they're 30. They're 31 and 35 right now. They're 3 games out of the top spot.
I think that's more of a conversation. You start getting closer to the All-Star break. You start looking at the teams that are tailing off. It's so hard right now to look at teams that are going to look to sell.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. To extend the wild card just leaves everybody in the conversation to be buyers. You know, JT got it.
Go, baby.
Got it.
No doubter. Let's go, baby.
3-0 Phillies. JT Realmuto.
What a shot.
You guys
Down
want
the left
Jack?
field
I'll trade you
line.
Jack.
3-0 Phillies, baby. Let's go.
You guys want Jack? I'll trade you Jack. He's pitching pretty well this year. I think he's
Jack
coming
Flaherty?
up on a contract.
Jack Flaherty.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, Jesus.
Hey, he could be dominant.
God, he smoked that. That was a curveball right down the street. Oh,
Wow.
love it.
Left that right out over the plate.
Yeah, he did. Let's
Hey,
go.
Crum.
3-0 Bills, top 6.
Yeah, it's good because Merrill Kelly's a good pitcher. And I think he's riding a 5-game win streak coming into this game, if I'm not mistaken.
And I think
this isn't a jabron on the mound. So to be able to listen, you know how it goes, right? We all watch enough of this. When you score 15 the night before, you're like, and you got they're arguably their second best pitcher, not their best because that's Gals, but their second best pitcher in my opinion this year. On the mound, you're like, oh, here we go. You know what I mean? Here we go. We'll score 1 run.
We're gonna get shut out. We're gonna get shut out.
Yeah. We'll score 1 if we're lucky. Here's a 1-0 loss coming. So to be able to get 3 is huge. You know what I mean? That's all. Like to be able to get 3 so far. Love to have some more here.
His pitch count is at 101. 101 in the 6.
Well, because their bullpen's worn out. This is why we have an advantage in the rest of this series. Their bullpen is worn out in this series. Like, think about it. They had to go position player last night. And he got worn out.
Yeah, what did we score? We scored 9 in the first game, 15 in the second game.
Yeah.
We got 3 so far tonight, and it's going into the bottom of the 6.
Now, tomorrow's the day where you make it shut out. Getaway day. You never know how those go sometimes. So you hope not. You hope they continue it because you would love to win 3 in a row in this series and really say, okay, we're different, right? We're different. We're back, baby. Because that's been a house of horrors where we're playing right now. Hasn't been a good place to play for us. Let's keep that real.
No, what were you going to ask me?
I was going to say, how far back are your Cardinals? Call me crazy, but
they're terrible. They're awful.
I hear you, but in a weak division in the Central, I wouldn't even count them out either.
You know what? You might think that, but they don't have the pitching at all. The offense isn't hitting. Nolan Gorman's been their best hitter this year. At this point, I'm a seller. I'm looking to sell my team. I think that they should trade Goldschmidt because they already got his replacement in Jordan Walker anyway. So I'm not giving him a contract. I'm trading Goldschmidt. I'm trading whoever else I can get. You guys want? You need a first baseman for the stretch run? I'll give you Goldie.
I'll take Paulie. I'll take Paul.
Yeah, I think I'm good. Spells.
Reigning MVP.
Spells. Not that I don't have Goldie.
Until September comes, right? We saw that movie last year.
Yeah, I saw it too. That's why I'm sitting it out.
Shut your mouth, Ralphie. Shut your mouth.
I do. Spells. I mean, I would have just brought up one of the young guys and maybe not even one of like your highly touted prospect young guys. You know what I mean? Like I was just like, who's my second starter in Lehigh Valley? You know what I mean? Who's that guy? I'll just bring him up, give him a shot, right? Start his clock.
Early enough in the year if you really wanted to try to do that, roll him out for 2 starts and see what you got.
Yeah, why not?
You could, especially the way they're playing right now. They're going to win series. I'd trot somebody out there.
It's lightning in a bottle. What's the worst thing you got? What's the worst that happens? He gets hit around. So that or okay, well, that's my bullpen anyway, right? Either way you look at it. So I'm going to just tax him on purpose. So unless I think Matt Strom can give me 5, then I'd knock this shit off immediately because you don't have the guy. Like you can't be what other teams are. What the Rays did made the Rays successful and still does. Don't try to copy small market shit. You don't have to try to copy it unless you need to or unless your bullpen is that ridiculous where every arm in there is electric, right? And that's how the Rays bullpen has been. They have an electric bullpen. Right? Guys just roll out. Like, where did this guy come from? He's 99 as an opener? The hell's going on around here?
Oh, I love it. That would be something.
It's like they throw young arms into the Ray pit, right? They get a little sting and they come out throwing 98.
Ranger has been pitching phenomenal.
Damn,
tonight.
I got nothing from nobody on that. Wow, it's a tough crowd.
The Ray pit. I know what you meant. I know what you meant.
It's a tough crowd.
I heard rape. I'm like, what?
I didn't rape anything in the
Jesus
rape.
Christ.
In the rape.
He never said that.
No, did not rape anybody. I said the Rays throw their relievers in the Ray pit.
Oh, the Ray pit. Oh,
get a little sting. Well, I may have said it quickly. You know what I mean?
I knew what you meant. You didn't. That never came out of your mouth, though, Tommy. That's all right.
Oh, jeez.
Jesus Christ.
All right, Spells. To get off of the rape kit.
Oh my God.
Spells one. Painter. We're not laughing about that. We're laughing that the words got mixed up in Frank's head. Keep an eye on him. Painter will not pitch one game. We'll go one game in the MLB for the Phillies this year. Agree or disagree?
I agree. They're going to be very cautious with him.
I think he shows up in one game.
I agree. He doesn't pitch this year.
I'd be shocked if he did, Frank. They're going to be real cautious with him. I mean, God, they baby all these pitchers, now, and I mean, Jesus, there's no way. I'd be shocked. I would love it if he did, but I'd be shocked if Painter pitched at all this year.
To your point, Noah, too, with the uncertainty with Nola's future, I do think that they're overly cautious with him. I don't think he pitches this year either.
Well, he threw a 20-pitch bullpen, so he's not going to start that process if the process wasn't to pitch somewhere this year, right? Okay? Now, where that somewhere will be, I hear you guys, right? I hear you.
Coca-Cola Park in the Lehigh Valley.
Maybe so. But if you got a goddamn brass set, right, that you're not raping with, okay? I see your look.
No. I'm looking at something else.
All right, cool. All right, good. Oh, I just felt like we were circling back.
No.
If you have a brass set as an organization, right, and if he's already throwing, if you're going to throw somewhere, everything's high leverage. If you're throwing here or if you're throwing in AAA, the right when you're a young guy like that. So it's not like there's like pressure's pressure, right? You know what I mean? At this point. So to me, if you give him some starts down there and he looks great, why not? Why? If he's going to throw 60 down there, wouldn't you rather have it here?
I just don't think they do it just because of how they are with prospects in general. Because we've seen guys down there
the way they have been.
Correct.
Not anymore, though. They don't operate like that when they've been ready to win and guys are ready. They've not. You got roll eyes all we want, right? They did not wait around on Bryson Stott. They did not wait around on Alec Boehm. They did not wait around on their top guy.
But that's also
no. What they've done in the past is not equal to the regime right now. The regime right now has not waited. The regime before and previously has always waited around. But this regime, not so much.
But pitching prospects are different than when positional prospects, and the Phillies miss on a lot of pitching prospects. Let's be honest, over time.
Well, one doesn't equal the other here. We're talking about waiting on young players. They don't if a guy's ready. If Andrew Painter was ready and he didn't get banged up, okay, Andrew Painter probably would have won that 5th spot. Like if he's better than what you have, they're ready to win now. They don't care about the clock. They're not worried about that. Like if a guy is better than what you have, you're gonna just say, "Hey, go ahead."
I don't think they're worried about the clock, but when it comes to pitching prospects, I think it's a whole different ball game then. And I think that because they whiff on a lot of
what's different if a guy's ready in spring training? That's my question to you. If a guy is electric like he was in spring training, what would be different? You know what I mean? I don't know.
Well, I think listen, the injury does add a factor.
No,
where they're going to
pre-injury,
they're going to handle a pitcher with kid gloves though. So
but they weren't pre-injury though.
Right, but the injury can change it as well. They always can change it. When it comes to pitching prospects, especially with a pitching prospect.
Sure, but then it could also say, well, there's only so many bullets in this chamber. There's also that side of it too, because there is, in a way.
That is a problem if you're looking at a young pitcher.
No, I look at every pitcher like that.
No, I get what you're saying.
Not him.
I'm saying the general consensus of view. It's not just the Phillies; it's everybody. They handle pitching prospects in a whole different way than they do positional prospects. And when guys get injured too, it's a whole different ballgame because it almost resets this whole clock of, okay, we have to handle this carefully. We have to make sure that we're not forcing it or pushing the issue because we have a lot invested in this person because they are so rare to find a top pitching prospect that actually pans out to be the top pitching prospect you expect. So when it comes to a guy like him, knowing particularly the Phillies' history with that, And knowing the uncertainty with Aaron Nola, I think they're going to handle this with extra caution.
Oh, I don't.
And
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing with you that maybe.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you that they handle with caution.
I
said I made it clear a brass set.
Oh yeah,
I said that. I just want to make it clear to the public.
Sure,
like I made it clear. Like you got to have a brass set to say he's not gonna start in the postseason anyway. So it's just for the rest of the regular season. And then you're like, okay, I got him in the pen if I feel like that's a comfort thing I can do.
I'm of your mind frame to where when it comes down to that, and I'm gonna trot him out there, and he's gonna throw.
Right.
It looks so good off the bat.
Whether it's whether it's AAA or it's MLB, he's gonna go out there and he's gonna get 60, 70, 80 innings this year anyway. If he can throw like he can throw, I'm going to the major leagues. But for some reason, a lot of these teams look at it as, well, it's a higher pressure situation because of this situation, whether it's coming off of an injury or there was a setback of the mentality of a pitcher. We got to handle them with kid gloves. We got to be really careful with them, and we don't want to push the issue because we're investing a lot in that because of how rare, we talked about teams being only 3 deep, let alone 4 deep in pitching. They just handle it overly cautious. And you're talking to me, Tom. You know this. I hate the fact that we have pitch counts on everybody, that guys don't go 6, 7 innings anymore. You almost never get a quality start from pitchers anymore. So it's a different game, and I hate it. And I agree with you, but I just feel like knowing where it's trending in baseball, it would not shock me whatsoever if they said, this kid may be the kid that's going to have to step in for Aaron Nola behind Zach Wheeler next year. We have to be really careful.
To your point. Yeah, to your point, Chrome, to some extent, every game's almost a bullpen game. I mean, sure, there's some exceptions, but you figure at least the second half of a ball game, you figure most games from the 5th inning on is decided by your bullpen.
Yeah, you're jerking yourself off if you get 6. You know what I mean? Like, 6, look at you. Look at you. Right?
Start at the 6th, you're jerking yourself off.
Oh, yeah. I mean, listen. So the point is like, if you get 60, 70 pitches out of a guy, if you said, hey, I'll get 50 out of Painter, what's the difference to that in an opener? In an opener. Like, that's, it's the same thing. It's the same damn thing. Except maybe I get 3, maybe I get 4 out of him, right? Maybe he's cruising, right? But if I'm going to set him in AAA and he's going to throw 50 to 70 pitches anyway, well, what the hell are we doing then? Now, if you set him to AA, okay. But if you know what I mean? But either way, it's still, everything's stressful when you're throwing regardless. There's stress. There's more stress innings than others, but the throw is the throw. So if you're going to throw in an environment of 10,000 people watching a game, you think that ain't pressure? You still want to do well.
Yeah,
so I understand sending them to get him the early work, but my point was if he's cruising, like for a bruising, then he might tie your damn hands. Now, but I also agree the other side of it, like you're saying, rightfully so. Organizationally, there might be a couple people that come in and say, "Oh, hold up." They put the gloves on and they tell you know what I mean? They tell you.
I almost feel like they don't allow these guys to be like a John Lackey mentality anymore. Like they groom these guys to not be as tough minded on the mound, particularly to where they groom these guys now to they
groom to go 6 and that's it.
Yep, you're gonna be not even 6. No, you're if you get me 5 and get me 90 pitches. Statistically, because the advanced metrics say you're going to fall off after that,
you'll get a big payday.
I'm happy with you. You know what I mean? Like it's why it's so crazy when you look at like the history of the game. And I don't want to be that guy like a Mad Dog Russo and go like all the way back to like Sandy Koufax or anything. But you look at guys like that, and you look at the history of the game for over 100 years. Guys just went out and threw. They didn't worry about pitch counts. You had guys throwing 115 every game. Bob Gibson. Friggin' Steve Carlton, all these guys went out and just threw pitches, and that was it.
And you would think
you didn't have it, they pulled the hook, and you did have it, they left you in. You went complete games. They don't do that shit anymore.
Well, there's a couple things real quick, Noah. I talked to Mitch a little bit about this, and he said, "Well, you walk every day, don't you? So if you throw, you should throw every day. That's how he believes it, right? And it's not as much about your pitch count; it's about like you can if you're good at what you do, you can tell when a guy is fatiguing. So the pitch counts don't matter as much as fatigue. Fatigue is how you get hurt. That's how guys are doing things that can get them hurt, right? The other side that nobody wants to goddamn talk about, all right, is the bullshit that goes on, not in pitch counts and stuff at youth sports. What's going on at the amateur level right now is how hard can I throw? That's where we're dealing with more problems than any pitch count. I'm going to go let guys throw as hard as they can because the gun's around. So, right? Because that's what it comes down to. That's what my PG ranking's going to rank me out at if I'm throwing 93 instead of me throwing 89. But when I throw 89, I can locate like nobody's business. But when I try to throw 93, I have no idea where it's going, but I throw hard. That's what it's come down to. It's a little bit too much.
It's the thing. It's like a Aroldis Chapman. You look at all these guys that throw over 105, or 102, 103. But half the time, you never know where the damn ball's going, right? Mm-hmm. Before, it was about build up your leg strength. Everything was in the legs and the mechanics. Because the arm motion, if you have the right mechanics and your legs, you got that leg strength built up, you're going to get that drive and get that extra velocity. Now, it's all in the shoulder. That's why you see so much Tommy John now and all kinds of different arm and shoulder issues. Because, like to your point, Tom, now they're groomed differently now. And that's why it changes how it is, where these kids are told, okay, go out and get me 6 innings and throw as hard as you can. We'll figure it out after that. Instead of saying, build up your legs, let's teach you the right mechanics. Then you start learning some of the movements on things where, because some of the pitches throw a little more strain on the arm. You start teaching them the different mechanics of things. That velocity comes with it, but they don't teach that anymore at a young age. And that's why kids are getting Tommy John now in high school, in college.
Yeah.
When I was little, I remember watching Kurt
Ranger.
I remember watching Kurt.
Sorry. While we're talking about it, Ranger 105 pitches, just got out of the 7th with a big strikeout. So Ranger threw 7,
not going past 5, and his pitch count was high the first 2 innings. He really settled in.
Yeah, he did. It's a great outing. Great outing out of Ranger Suarez. Such a huge boost for this baseball team that he's thrown as well as he has over the last couple starts. Huge. Sorry, no, go ahead.
You're good. Crum, to your point, I remember watching Kurt Schilling pitch when I was a kid. And, say what you want. Yeah, he got a little hurt during his career, some ups and downs. But more often than not, he went deep into games. He pitched so well in the postseason because his damn legs were built like fucking tree trunks. You know what I mean? And that's where he got a lot of his power on the mound from. And he could locate a fastball like nobody's business. When he was on, he could throw it 95 or 96 right on the black, Well,
everybody thinks all these kids are taught that you have to throw as hard as you can. But go back and look at some of these guys. And I look at a guy like a Justin Verlander or an Adam Wainwright, right? These guys were hard throwers early in their career. They hit a lull for about 2 or 3 seasons in their career to where when you start throwing your arm out and you hit that certain age, it changes. And then they had to relearn how to use their movement. When you could teach guys this early on, you don't have to be the hardest thrower on the mound to be dominant. Right. Jamie Moyer lived on movement.
Yeah.
Tim Wakefield lived
movement
on movement.
and
These are
location.
world champions. Mm-hmm. Like not just like 6 guys in the rotation champions. These guys were big game pitchers in the World Series and won titles, and they weren't the hardest throwers there. They learned how to pitch with movement.
Moyer was 46 or 47 years old the year that we won the World Series.
There's a key word here. the key words. Learn how to pitch. We're not learning how to be a thrower. We're learning how to pitch.
Exactly.
Two different things. So they say, guys, all the time, man, like, I want you to fill the damn zone up. And if you can fill it up and hit spots, you're in great shape. 105. 4 hits. 7 Ks. What an outing.
Tell you what, you get a lot more like that throughout the year. That's going to be real huge for this team.
Yeah, since coming back from the disabled list, Ranger has looked better and better and better.
Yep. And that'll take a little bit of pressure off of Nola too. In that 2 slot, to not have to be, not to be forcing certain things because you feel like behind you, you're not going to get as much quality, man. If you can get 3 deep. Like 3 quality deep. That's gonna be a whole game changer for this team and for any team at that point.
Yeah, tomorrow's gonna be, we gotta finish this one off, but tomorrow is a big start for Aaron Nola. Definitely is. It's not like you have your opener tomorrow, right? Tomorrow you have your number 2 on the mound, and you would really love to for him to to get it right. He's had a good start versus the Tigers. He had a bad one versus the Mets. And obviously he got hit around against the Dodgers. So he's been a little hot and cold to start this year off, right? But he's a guy who usually gets better as the season goes too, right? So you hope that continues. But I mean, even when he does get hit, I mean, he's like innings pitched, right? Go back through his starts. 7, 8, 6, 6, 7, 7, 6, 6, 7, 6, right? You know what I mean? So he is a guy that gives you innings. And you just hope he can sort of, find his groove here like he usually does in the second half of the season. Because he's a big location guy. He's a pitcher. He's a pitcher. And when you don't locate, right, and you lose, you lose your arm slot a little bit, you get hit around. when you can't throw 98 to make up for it. But even 98 gets hit if you want to put down the pipe. Because every big league hitter can hit a fastball. Nicky, base hit. Nicky C. A 1-out single here in the 8th. As the live reactions really start to come to fruition here on A2D Wednesday nights, only on A2D radio. But why I say that, I got to take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back for the rest of our reactions.
Hey, Birds fans, the NFL schedule has arrived and Philly Sports Trips has all the details now. Visit the site phillysportstrips.com. This is sure to be an epic season. Be sure to go there now to make sure that you don't get shut out. Join us in Tampa, LA, Seattle, or when we get revenge in Kansas City. Don't want to fly? No problem. Gather up your crew and hop aboard one of our signature boisterous bus trips to DC or New York. Sign up now and make sure to mention A2D. Don't miss out on the best Philly fan experience anywhere. Philly Sports Trip customers always stay at the best hotels and meet NFL legends. Book today.
PhillySportsTrips.com. Go book your getaway right now. Oh, after Harper, it's a 2-run homer here. Imagine if he did. Oh, he struck out. Close enough. As you notice, his power hasn't really been there yet. So you hope that starts to come, right? Like, to me, he hasn't got hot yet. He hasn't got hot with the long ball yet, I should say, right? You know what I mean? In his return.
Yeah, Harper, yeah.
So it's a good sign you're winning games and he hasn't, really started to lose. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, he really hasn't started to lose baseballs and you're winning games. Good sign. Good sign in a way.
He's another one, too, right? JT's starting to hit.
Yeah.
Castellanos hitting in front of him. You look at Schwarber, Trea stuck between him and Castellanos. And then you obviously have Castellanos, and if JT's going to be
Nicky. Look at Nicky legs.
He's got
Nicky legs.
these guys are going to benefit from seeing pitching because they're going to be sandwiched between guys that are starting to come alive. So
I do love that this team's starting to take more bases, right? They're 10th in baseball in stolen bases right now.
small ball.
And it's
I
just
do-
the little things they're doing, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
like Crum said, small ball, man. It's just the little things they're doing, and it's just helping them out along the way so far.
We talked about that, Ralphie, right before the start of the season.
Yeah.
Like the importance of like, hey, you have some speed in this lineup. You have some guys who can run. You know, you have rule changes that cater to running. You know, that we thought this team could be a top 5 team in stolen bases. So they're not far away. The reason, part of Arizona's success, Ralphie, right, is the fact that they run.
Yeah.
They run the base like nobody's business. They steal a ton of bags.
And I think Corbin is up there for them for stolen bases as well.
Of course he is. Of course he is. You saw that though, top OPS.
Yeah, and I think he's number 1. Corbin is.
Yeah, he is. But we have 3 Phillies in that on
Yeah.
that list. JT Schwarbs and Nicky C, formerly known as Ben Simmons.
We have Aaron now.
JT pops up. So, yep.
The bottom of the 8th. And I think Sir Anthony's coming in for Ranger to start the 8th or bottom of the 8th.
Yeah, Ethan, I think that's like huge. I mean, what a bottom part of your lineup, right? It just doesn't end. JT, Bomb, Stott, and then you get to like Cody or Sosa or whoever, you know what I mean? Whoever's down there per se that game. So, it's not a bad thing to have. Or Marsh, Marsh. It's a really good bottom of the lineup. So about JT, Bohm, Stott, Marsh, and then you end with Clemens. That's fun.
Can't pitch around nobody.
I mean, as a traditionalist, I was against the DH in the National League, but
Of
when you
course.
see how it's benefited teams like the Phillies and being able to keep a guy like at one point, 1 year, it kept Ohtani on the field. Now you see it keeps Bryce Harper on the field, which is better for baseball when those guys are able to get into a lineup. It's pretty remarkable. And like you guys said, when you look at the Phillies lineup, top to bottom, if they start stroking, even when you get to the number 9 hitter, that's tough.
Yeah, it really is.
There's no breaks. There's no breaks in that lineup.
No, and Ethan said, imagine if we had Reese. If Reese was playing, then Marsh would be our worst hitter. Yeah. Yeah, definitely a loss. I mean,
And Marsh has been pretty decent.
Yeah,
He's had a pretty good year.
Hoskins is back with the team, locker room wise. Not sure if he's traveling with them though.
I think it's home games.
Yeah, it's probably home for right now. I'm sure shortly he'll probably travel with them a little bit more. As the rehab becomes a little not less, but like ramped up in different ways where you can sort of take care of it, do your stuff everywhere. You know what I mean?
And I think he's lobbying to travel with the team, I'm hearing.
I'm sure he is.
Yeah.
I'm sure he is.
Yeah, I wouldn't rule out if we make a deep playoff run, I wouldn't rule out an October return for Reese.
I'd be shocked.
Well, what month did he injured in? March, right? Spring training, right?
Yeah, it's a quick turnaround.
Yeah.
It's quick.
Yeah. Yeah, who knows? Maybe he can DH a little bit in the playoffs.
You never know.
You're making a deep run and you're rolling, though. Do you really need him?
Yeah, it's a catch-22.
You want to bring somebody in who's been cold all year. I mean, and who's that important to your lineup that you don't want to compromise the following year.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah, that's a fair point, and you don't want to mess with any mojo that we may have going by then anyway. But
McCarthy with a leadoff double off Sir Anthony to start the 8th.
oh,
There was I want to say it was 2013. No, 2012. Cardinals have Michael Wacha. And the Cardinals decided, because he pitched well early in the year, he came back and he pitched Game 7 in the NLCS against the Giants. Didn't pitch all year. Fucking guy gave up. The series losing. He got crushed basically in the inning he pitched, and they lost the game in the inning he pitched. You do not bring guys back that late in the year who haven't played all year.
No.
Not playoff-wise. Not that deep in the playoffs either.
Right.
No, you want to give a guy like a September ramp up? Fine.
I totally agree. Guy can come back first or second week of September and then get 2 or 3 weeks in to get some legs. Then you can at least see if it's worth it. That's one thing, but he ain't gonna be ready by September.
No. Yeah, Schwarber did do it. But I don't remember exactly when his injury took place. If it was spring training or, during the season. I don't remember. It was a while ago.
Majority of the history of those kinds of injuries would tell you it's not a good idea.
No.
Because one guy made it happen. I'm not banking on it.
3-2 pitch
boys.
coming. That ball four.
Yep. Here we go now. Now it gets fun.
All right, boys. I got a call tonight. 3 a.m.'s coming early.
All right,
Alrighty,
brother.
no.
All
All
right.
right, brother. Good stuff.
Have a good one. Be safe on 95 if anybody's got to travel on it.
Absolutely.
Thanks, brother.
Mhm.
Just get out of this, Ranger, please.
Did you say Ranger?
Yeah, please get out of this. I mean,
That's Sir Anthony
Sir Anthony,
Dominguez.
Jesus Christ.
Who's that up throwing?
Soto.
Dodo.
Be a real good time for a double play ball.
Yeah.
Seems like he can't locate tonight.
I was gonna say when he's missing bad.
First and second, no outs. Bottom of the eighth.
And it's top of the order for Arizona too. Here we go. All right.
Needed that.
That'll work.
Needed that.
Little
One
pop
out.
up.
Yeah,
Pop up
one out.
short.
Man on first and second. Come on, two more.
Yeah, that was big. He hung that too.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Jesus.
It was
Yes, he did. Now you get that double play.
Yep, Gurriel's up.
Lourdes.
Good player.
Arizona's a tough team, man. They got a lot of good young players on
Yeah.
their team.
Yeah, they are.
Took them a while.
Yeah, it wasn't quick. Good pitch. 1-1.
See, that was all movement.
1-1 count to Gurriel.
Looks like Corbin Carroll got sat down for a night after last night. A little blunder.
Yeah.
Good
Marshy.
catch. Good catch.
Fly out
baby.
the center.
Oh,
One
I
Got,
bet that
One
looked
more.
like it could be one of those little bloopers right in
Yeah,
there.
Yeah, it almost did. Yeah.
he's good out there too. He really
Oh,
is. Good
Excellent center fielder.
yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Gets good reads.
Come on, baby. One more. Christian Walker up now. 0 for 2 with a walk in the sixth.
Christian
2
Walker
outs, man on
kills
first
us,
and
too.
second.
I think he kills us.
Who, Walker?
Yeah. That's why they're going out. That's why they're going out. Kills us.
Looks like Soto's coming in for the 9th.
No Kimbrel?
Well, Soto was up and thrown. I don't know if they're going to go a different direction after
Well,
this.
I think that's because Serenity was struggling early. But I think if they get out of this, I think Kimbrel gets up and starts throwing.
Christian Walker batting .329 with 28 hits, a homer, 10 ribbies, in 27 games versus the Phillies.
Ooh, that's good numbers. This will be big if he could pitch out of this.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah.
Come on, baby.
Be huge.
Come on, baby.
Huge boost of confidence for him, too.
Yeah.
Just missed.
And then I think Longoria's on deck for Arizona after Walker. Yeah, Longoria bets 5. This is the 4th up.
Pitch.
Pitch.
Right at the bottom of the zone.
Pitch. Give me 2 more. Come on.
First and second, 2 down.
1-1 count. Another one through right.
Time again. Let's go. He swung right through. That was a meatball. That was a goddamn meatball. Oh
now I go fastball up. Go fastball up.
Change his eye level.
Yeah, that wasn't as much of a
Change
meatball.
his eye level.
That had a little movement at the end of it.
I try to go higher. Go higher.
It's going higher.
Oh. That you don't want to say.
Wild pitch. Runners move to second and third now. Count is 2-2 to Walker. 2 outs, second and third in the bottom of the 8th.
Ball landed about 2 feet short of the plate. Oof.
You go fastball again here?
I would have went there.
You blew 2 of them by him.
I know.
Go it again.
And then you go off speed. Such a joke.
Yachty would have blocked that.
Oh, gone.
Oh shit.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Here we go. That's going to be a long night.
The base is loaded, really, bro.
No.
I mean, not with the base loaded. With a base open. With a base open, really. With a base open, though. We're gonna go all speed there. When he swung and missed through 2 fastballs. He swung and missed through 1 fastball. What are we doing, dude?
Dude, he hung that.
If I've ever seen anything center cut, that was it right there.
If you're gonna go off speed, at least throw it away.
That ball was hip high.
Yeah.
Christian Walker kills us.
Hey, Ralphie.
Yo.
Yachty would have blocked that one pitch.
Oh my God. Well, we're back to square one. That was fun for 6-7 innings.
What's frustrating about that is
Ranger pitched a fucking gem because Ranger pitched a gem and then the bullpen, coughs up another one. Usually how it goes for Philadelphia. Get a great outing by your starting pitcher, and then your bullpen comes in and shits the bed. Oh my God!
Ugh.
Here we go.
Evan Longoria's got 2 hits tonight. It's disgusting. It's so nasty.
He's getting his payback for 2008.
Oh my God!
And here comes old Robbie. Robbie coming to the mound.
A little late here, Rob.
I just don't understand the pitch. I'm not going to understand it. I'm not going to understand
2-2 count with a base with a 2-2 count base open.
Cut?
At least throw it outside. At least make him chase,
was
dude.
Right. First of all, the ball that went in the dirt, I would have gone up high. I'm going eye level with that.
Yeah,
I'm going to swing through something.
You just kind of swing through a center cut fastball, essentially. So now you go up the ladder a little bit more, right? That's all you do. You go up the ladder a little bit more. It's all about what the pitch you just threw. So now he's going to be thinking, oh, 1-2, 1-2. They're probably going to go off speed, right? He lays off that one, lays off the one in the dirt, which, okay. I mean, most guys will bounce 40 feet, but
they might have been overthinking it. They're thinking, all right, we're already starting to go up the ladder. We're going to drop a ball down in the dirt, but he really dropped in the dirt 2 feet short of the plate and outside.
That's when I go fastball back up then.
I'm with you on that, Tommy. I would have throw it out of the zone. If he swings through it, great. If he doesn't swing through it, you have another pitch. You're good. It wasn't a full count.
Yeah, tired of watching guys settle. Like, throw your best goddamn pitch and make somebody beat you. Yeah.
Try to be too cute.
Stop settling, dude. What's your best pitch? What do you have the best fuel for? Because and it goes to pitch selection from JT too. Like, the pitch you just goddamn threw was that pitch, and you spiked it. So it tells me you don't really have the feel right now for that pitch. Well, but your fastball had late life to it. So if my fastball's got late life to it, but my curveball is spiking all over the joint, and I'm missing wide with it all the time, it tells me I don't have the feel for it. So as a catcher and whoever's calling in the pitches, like, let's lock in here.
To your point, right? You go back, right? First of all, his best pitch he threw that entire inning, the only one he had any control was the sinker. And he was throwing it right in the zone, and guys weren't hitting because of the movement. When you try to get too cute, you didn't have to defer from it there. You didn't have to go away from that. And it's why I always look at a guy, and I know he's the GOAT, but look at Mariano Rivera. People always talk about he had 4 great pitches. He could throw any pitch he wanted to. He stuck with one pitch because nobody ever hit that pitch. He didn't overthink it. He didn't try to overdo it. And I feel like these guys try to get too cute. They try to overthink the situation. You were spot on. We'd all say it. You're slightly going up the ladder. Go up a little bit higher. You have pitches to use. You have a little bit of wiggle room in the count, pitch count. Go up a little bit high. You get a swing and miss, great. You don't, come back, resettle. Maybe you throw the breaking ball after that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, go with what got you there. In the game, in the situation, in your career, right? Like, go with your best pitch. That's what sort of gets me about Nolan.
And clearly that sinker was his best pitch.
Yep. Well, or the fastball.
In this inning, I'm saying. That sinker was the only pitch he was locating.
Yeah, I'm just saying he threw 97. He threw a 97-mile-an-hour fastball at the kneecaps to him for strike. He
came back with a 98 one. And
he came back with 90. He came back with 98. And it's like, okay, like you said, okay, yeah, go to your sinker then. But don't go to a curveball, period. Like, who are we trying to fool? Like, go with the 2 pitches that are your best pitches. It's not his love affair, B-Lo. Come on. I mean, Sir Anthony's been a good pitcher. So, I mean, this year's been a little rough at times, but it's not like he's been like horrendous. Just wasn't as good as he was last year right now. This was bad, but I don't think this is not on Rob per se.
No. If anything, I'm putting it on Dominguez, and I'm putting it on JT for calling that pitch.
Yeah, that's who I'm on. I can sit on the couch, me and you, and we're talking where we're going with pitches. And I got guys that play 162. You know what I mean? Hello.
Oh, we lost Ralphie.
No, he's walking, guys. What a freaking joke.
You got to up right now?
I just got him up. How many more they got left? No, you know what I mean? But this is bad. This will be a bad loss. You lose tonight. In my opinion, this would be considered a bad loss.
Considering the way that everything's been trending in the momentum, this is one of those that can kind of puts it to a hold a little bit.
Yeah, this is a big AB here.
Here we go. All right.
Ball.
There we go. All
right. Well, we're out of the inning.
Now come back and pick up your pitch. Now you need the offense to come back and pick up the pitcher now.
Bilo, you're acting like Soto's been great. You know what I mean? Like the only guy who's really been good that's been here is Kimbrel for the most part. You know what I mean? Like out of those three guys. All right. And I don't even know what Alvarado's status for the night is. You know what I mean? So, like, I don't know who else you're going to.
I'd be interested to see who called that pitch, though.
No, that's the question.
If that's a JT call,
but who else are you guys going to? Who else are you guys going to? Like, I don't know who else you go to.
I got to think if that's a JT call on that pitch, then we got to look at him. We got to point the finger.
Yeah.
Just that's one of the things that people have to consider, right? Sometimes it's not, even if a pitcher's struggling a little bit, if they're locating certain pitches, and
you
then
can
they
help them out.
You got to look at it. You got to remember that the catcher is the quarterback of the game, and it's going to depend on who's making that call on that pitch. Did that come from the bullpen or from the dugout? Did that come from the catcher? Did he shake off JT and say, "No, I'm going to throw this"? There's a lot more factors than, he's just a struggling reliever. I mean, he was struggling, but he was throwing other pitches effectively, and they deferred from that. So who made that call?
It's a good question.
It's kind of what makes baseball so great. There's a lot more intricacy to the game than people even consider or realize.
Yeah.
It's not surface level. It's not struggling pitcher against the best team in the AL in the NL East or West. Who made that call?
Yeah. I mean, baseball is 90% mental. So, and that's just not playing it. That's, that's pitch selection. That's so many other things.
Well, this is where we see how tough this offense is going to be. And it's the bottom of the lineup, but some of these guys have been hitting.
Yep.
Would love to.
Some of your more consistent hitters at this point.
Would love to get one back here, right? You know what I mean? Would really, because that will show you a lot too. Of some toughness. You can come get one right back.
Especially the way Stott's been in lately. Get a man on here, put a little pressure on them, make them have to make some decisions. All right, well, one count.
That's a good pitch.
That was a great pitch.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Bilo's on some kind of agenda. All right, Bilo, I don't know who else you wanted to go to. That's the question I'm asking you. You've not answered that question.
Who are you bringing in?
Yes, that's my question. The only other guy I would say would be Alvarado, but I don't know if he's available. I don't know what the deal is. I don't have that answer.
Well, my guess would be no if they're bringing Soto up behind Dominguez.
I don't know if he's available. I don't disagree with you. I just don't know if he's available.
Let me see if I can see anything with Alvarado. I mean, my guess would be he's not. Because you would think he would have been up throwing behind Dominguez then when they brought Soto up.
Oh, man. Give me a second.
Trying to look up and see if Alvarado's available tonight.
The last time he pitched was against the Dodgers. And he gave up.
All right.
Gave up. He struck out 2. He walked 2. And he gave up 1 earned run. So not like an ideal outing for him in that one. So not that.
Ooh.
Not that means much.
That was a nice corner paint, though.
You know what I mean? Not that that's
He hasn't pitched in a few days though, so I mean, I get the frustration, but
yeah, Bilo. I don't know if he's available. I hear you. I don't know. We'll find out from Robbie T after this one. That answer on what he was thinking. But his last outing, it was not sharp. So I don't know what their plan is. Strike 3. It's a good pitch.
Yeah.
It's a good pitch. It's a strike. He pitched 3 days ago. So I don't, you know what I mean? I don't know if they're just trying to be a little bit more cautious. I don't know. Because he pitched, he pitched 6-9 versus the Dodgers, pitched 6-11, right? And he's been off since. So that could just be, giving him a little bit more of a breather, right? Since he wasn't that sharp in that game. So I don't know. Yeah, I agree with you, Bilo, and I'm a big Dominguez guy per se, right? At least when he was younger, saying, all that stuff. I was a believer in him as a really good bullpen arm. So long story short, he has not been good enough. Yeah, they might, Ethan. I think they might lose this game. Not happy about it.
Alvarado threw 22 and 30 pitches his last 2 times out.
That's why. So, not been sharp.
I mean, it's 3 days rest, but he really didn't pitch.
Not been sharp, right?
Spectacular in either game.
No, that's a lot of pitches. So that's
for a reliever. That's a lot of pitches. So they might be trying to just get him a little bit of extra rest. The other thing is, there we go. Whether he's struggling or not, it's June. So are we just not going to give Dominguez any opportunities to come in and leverage situations to try to get himself straight? Like, that makes no sense to me either. Like, he's been one of your better pitchers. He was a big part of your playoff run last year. So the idea that we're going to get frustrated because whoever called that pitch didn't go well, to me, it's kind of nonsensical. If it's August or September and you're in a tight, you're fighting for something in a tight race there, and you need every single game at that moment, I get it. But this is the time where you need to trot him out there and let him try to figure himself out.
Yeah, for sure. This is absolutely the time. No better time.
I mean,
in reality, he's got a 3-run lead. He's got a goddamn 3-run lead.
Right. That's the time you throw him in there.
I mean, you give up 1 or 2, okay, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna run to the bathroom real quick.
Yeah, 2 strike, 2 out home run. Yeah. That's not going to do it. All right, let's see what they got.
And Mark strikes out swinging, so that's going to take us to the bottom of the 9th.
And hopefully we can survive the bottom of the 9th and deal with the zombie runners. So, and hopefully the zombie runners can pull through for us. Because we're back at the top of the lineup, so because we still have our 9-hitter, right? Left?
No, I think Marsh was batting 9th.
Okay, so then, all right, top of the order. So that means, okay, yeah. All right.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be great. It'd be a good time. Good time if we can get back up there, Frank.
Absolutely. Hopefully they'll pull through and get a well-needed win. It's a shame that Rangers not going to get the win on this one, but
yeah. Well, now you just hope we get the win on it.
Yeah, so hope we get the win and get at least a split. I mean, be nice to get the split. Hopefully, get 3 or 4 by the end of tomorrow. But Yeah, we'll see where it goes. The bottom of the ninth. Hopefully they get the job done.
Yeah, I wonder who's coming in. I guess Kimbrel's coming in here.
Yeah, I saw Kimbrel warming up, so it's going to be Kimbrel.
I wonder who the hell they go to.
Yeah.
Well, they haven't used a lot of their pen, so
Right.
it's like they have options. They have some options, but it starts getting through this first.
Mm-hmm.
This does not feel good to me. What's everybody out there think? We pulling this one off? We figuring out a way?
Yeah, hopefully. We'll see where it goes at this first out. It'll give me a good indicator, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, it's important.
Yeah.
It's important. See you, Marcus.
Yeah, looking forward to tomorrow night. You got Jermaine Jones hopping on tomorrow night, talking basketball after Nuggets winning the NBA Finals. So that's going to be a good watch. I know Marcus has been hyping it up the past couple days. He's been asking fan requests for some questions to ask Jermaine. So I think it's going to be a fun watch tomorrow night.
Yeah, absolutely will. Looking forward to hearing it.
Yep. And Jermaine, being a returning guest, appeared a couple times before.
Yep.
On other shows, which I'm not going to name, but you know my stance on that show. But
yeah, and a lot of ours.
Yes.
Kimbrel O2 here. The Carson Kelly 8-9-1 up for the D-backs here in the bottom of the inning. Kobe thinks we're about to get walked off.
All right, foul ball.
Yeah, Debo, I'm invested into this one. Now we're at 12:06. I was hoping this game's cruising. We could be done this show by 12 o'clock. Now, I know how this is going to go. I'm also
Anthony Dominguez, hold my beer.
I'm also getting my legs up down here.
I know I grabbed the tall boy for a reason.
Oh, put the big boys up here. My legs are wide open right now, just so you guys know. The way I'm sitting. Sorry.
So,
Good pitch. That a babe.
do we have any concerns about Rob as coach?
Do we?
Manager?
No, because I think I do and I don't, right? Like I can always question managers, right? You know what I mean? I can always.
It's true.
I can always question managers, but that being said, it showed you recently it's a player's league to a point. Guys got to produce. Now, your job is to put guys in position to be successful, right? Your job is to manage personalities, right? I mean, that becomes a manager's job, right? And the other part of it is knowing your staff and knowing your bullpen. So that's where I feel about managers, right?
Yeah, I agree.
So McCarthy, who led off the last inning with a double, is now up at 1 out.
All right.
Nice
now
pitch.
0-1.
Nice pitch.
Ethan, I don't know. I could do. I'm sure there's better out there than Rube. You know what I mean? I don't despise Rube.
I completely disagree. I love Ruben on the broadcast.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying, I'm sure there's people out there that are better. I don't dislike Ruben though. Tough play. Got him.
Ooh.
I think Ruben found his niche in the broadcast booth.
Yeah.
No,
I like
I said,
And
I
in the
don't-
post games.
Yeah, I like Rube. You know what I mean? I don't dislike him. But I can understand why people don't. You know what I mean? I also get both sides. I mean,
Right.
I think people have agendas against Ruben because of, the general manager
Mm-hmm.
results.
Yeah, because he went all in and people didn't like it, I guess. Yeah, people don't
Though I will take Ruben in the broadcast booth over Michael Bourne any day. So
yes. Oh, stay in. No.
Though I will give Michael Bourne credit. They were very hilarious listens on my drives.
I mean, I would question people. I would question people like how many people like Mike Schmidt in the booth because I think he's terrible.
Yeah, I think he does exactly.
I don't care for Schmidt.
I think he does exactly what he's supposed to do. Like in every once a month, I want the Sunday. You know what I mean?
I
like
think
you bring him in, like, and you get him out, right? Like that's all. That's all.
I think he comes in for name recognition, but if you really listen to him, half the time he doesn't know what's going on. Remember a game last year against the Cardinals? It was that game where we hit the 4 home runs back to back in the first inning?
Yeah.
Is it either Goldschmidt or it was
Yepes?
No, it wasn't Yepes. And he said something like, "Oh man, this guy's a good hitter. He might win Player of the Month." And he had just won Player of the Month, and they were like, I think Kruk was like, "He already did, Mike," and he's like, "Oh, he did." He's like, "Oh, well then, I guess I had the right frame of mind on him then." It's like an idiot. He doesn't know doesn't pay attention to what's going on.
Yeah, Ethan. It was on the agenda. Sir Anthony spoiled that.
Mm-hmm.
Now we got a full count here. The Perdumo. So hopefully Kimbrel can.
Maybe during a commercial break, we'll throw in a quick 2 minutes.
Yeah, let's do that.
I'd like it off.
It's going to punch him out right here.
No, Hills, I don't know if I'm going to be streaming the draft next week. What night is it?
It is on the
Thursday night.
22nd. On the 28th, I believe. Is it the 22nd?
That was the 22nd. Response. Oh, here we go. You all right there, Marsh?
2-out double.
It is on the 22nd. Okay.
2-out double at Virginia.
I thought it was the week later for some reason.
I feel like that ball needs to be caught by somebody though. I don't know why.
I don't know. The way that resulted, that might have been a nasty collision if somebody tried
to.
Oh my God, Kyle, where are you going? He's like going backwards. Where are you going?
That's one where Kyle should. You
got to make that play.
Somebody should have called that.
Well, Kyle should take the left turn and defer to Marsh on that.
Yeah.
He didn't have the angle. I mean, Kyle's grabbing it with his hand backwards like this.
Yeah.
No, but he went backwards himself.
All right, strike one. All right.
That's what she was reacting to.
And Mets just walked it off. Mets just walked it off. Not that matters, but
right.
Here we go.
All right.
1-2. Did he steal?
No,
guess not.
No.
Yeah, he did.
No, he was already. Oh, he did.
Oh, he did.
All right. Well,
I feel like I saw him run. That was a foul ball, though. Oh, he held on to it.
Yeah.
Never mind. Disregard. Ken's still there.
There it is.
There we go.
That baby.
Big pitch.
All right. Zombie runner time.
Any reactions to the Doc comments while we're in a commercial break here?
I'll
tell you what I took from it. It wasn't necessarily about the Harden stuff. I really liked him talking about Tyrese Maxey, and it makes me even more want him to be the number 2 option on this team. Talking about his work ethic, the way he shows up every day, it kind of adds on, taking the insight from somebody who was there day in and day out and saw how this kid prepared himself, worked with the coaching staff, asked questions, worked with his teammates. I expect him to take another jump next year. And I feel in a weird position in a weird way, I feel like maybe we have to bring Harden back, but if not, I kind of like the idea of a Fred VanVleet. I know the backcourt's small then, but I like the idea of a VanVleet just because I think he could be a true point guard for this team, a guy who can be a facilitator, but can also score a little bit. He's not a closer, which I think this team could use.
Mm-hmm.
And the more I hate, we talk about injury histories and Dame Lillard and all these guys. Bradley Beal could stay on the court. I really think he could be a great addition to play next to Joel. I mean, I really, really do. It's just the guy just knows he misses. It feels like 20 to 30 games every year.
Every year, every single year, and I think people would hate that when it was in front of their face all the time here. So I'm not taking on that kind of money personally. Like, would I be?
Well, it sounds like it's not going to cost much to get him.
No, getting him isn't the problem. It's taking on the gigantic salary now. I just don't know how you construct your roster out after because there's some question marks. That's all. It's because you probably have more. Come on, Kyle.
Kyle.
God damn it.
Yeah, he knows. Not happy with himself.
Yeah, don't swing at that one. Ugh.
I was listening to Wendy talk about the upcoming changes, though, in the NBA's collective bargaining agreement and as far as roster structure. And, he talked about how it's almost kind of the anti-Warriors changes where they're trying to break up where these teams can just continue to pay these guys, even though it's their own guys, to continue to pay these guys and then build around them. When they their talent outplays the contracts to give away these, 3 max deals and this and that. And I did find that very interesting, but there is 2 years left from what Wendy was talking about, where Brian Windhorst, for anybody who doesn't know who Wendy is, in terms of being able to still build around. So I do think there's room to structure the team around. I mean, honestly, I think Fred VanVleet is honestly your best option for this team. I know it's a small backcourt. I do, but you're getting a true point guard. This team needs a true point guard, and he can score.
Blue, get down. Get down. Get down. Collided. Hope everybody's okay, but we'll take the quad. Can't score on it because there's only one out, right? So.
Right.
Jeez, they almost had a 3-man collision on that.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's
coming in hot. Keeve is coming in hot. Wow. Manager needs to go.
Boy.
Keeve says manager needs to go. He isn't hungry. He managed last year like it was his only chance. This year, he is lazy.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Come on, Nikki. Come on, Nikki. Collision talk, Don. Like I said, I'm glad they're all okay. But we were definitely shooting. We weren't mad at it. It's a terrible swing. There's 2 terrible ABs though.
Yeah,
him and Schwarber.
Yeah, that was an ugly swing.
I mean,
You take what you can get.
Yeah, I'll
to
take it.
go.
I'll take it. I'll take it, but man, that was
Let's get a deep fly ball here.
yeah.
Now, does Kimbrel come out, pitch the ninth,
I don't know.
or do you go Alvarado here?
Do 18 pitches. So, not that, like we talked about. Oh, get out of Dodge.
Get
Get out of Dodge, Nicky. Get out of Dodge, Nicky.
All right,
Oh,
all right.
That's all you needed.
All right,
That's
it's
all
a
you
sack.
needed.
It's a sack. Good sack.
well, remember, they start with a guy on second, too. So,
All right, I'll take it.
not all we needed, but we'll take it.
I'll take it.
Oh, God, I thought he got that.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I thought he got that. That's probably going in like every ballpark.
That's a
around.
deep park in center field.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's probably going everywhere.
And it's
But
a high
there.
wall.
Oh,
Even if it gets to the wall, it's a real high wall.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It might be the deepest center field ever. Unless you go back in like the 50s.
Yeah, the Polo Grounds.
Yeah. Come on, Harp. Come on, Harp. Oh, God damn it.
Oh, you didn't love the what the fuck was the name of that hill in Houston?
Oh, Towels Hill.
Dallas Hill before they took that out.
Oh, yeah.
What a joke that was.
Crow giving the dogs a look. We're live over here. You know what I mean? That's why you got to put. You got to get the dogs the on-air
Dogs,
sign.
Dogs hear somebody locking their door outside and went insane.
Yeah, you got to get the on-air sign for the dogs. You know what I
And
mean?
you've been-
So they know.
And you've been to my house too, so you know my one dog can push the door open and
Yeah.
screen and porch. So the door just slammed open.
Huh. Oh, Harper just missed that one.
Come on, Bryce.
He's due.
Oh.
He's
Mike says, how long would a Flyers rebuild take? I don't know. It depends, Mike, right? I'm hoping like 3 years, you know?
I'm
hoping like
hoping
they're
the same thing.
You know
but
what?
it can be fast because remember, like Vegas is an expansion team and they're playing in the cup. They won the Stanley Cup, right? So keep that in mind. Like they're not expansion team this year, right? But like right away, they were good, right? So I don't think it takes, you know what I mean? Not that it doesn't take a lot, but I don't know if it's gonna be like a 6-year thing.
Yeah,
I'm hoping
Six would be
for-
way
it
too
won't be
long.
that long. It won't be that long.
Yeah, six would be forever. I mean, I know the Hockey Happy Hour guys kind of covered all the bases on like what Briere should do, and I think we're probably going to see a lot of moving pieces these next couple seasons, and that's the end of the inning. But I would say, I'll probably say in the range between 3 to 4 years, depending on how everything goes for the Flyers so far, where their mindset is. I mean, if it's going to be like a tank, then all right, I'm for tank. But I mean, we'll see where we go in the draft. I mean, it's a shame that we did not get the number 1 overall pick, but I mean, I do have my trust in Briere as GM.
Anybody with a brain would have been able to tell you that Chicago was going to get that pick.
Yeah,
Better for the league. It's just what it is. What it is.
right.
I don't care what anybody says. That shit was fixed.
It was fixed.
I don't care if the second, third, or fourth best whatever. Everybody knew that Chicago was going to get that number 1 pick. They just lost Jonathan Taves. They traded Patrick Kane.
Yeah,
It's an original team in the league.
exactly.
And everybody knows when it comes to the original 6, the league is better when they're competitive and they have a marketable star.
Exactly, and that happened like a couple seasons ago when the Rangers got the rights to Lafreniere in the draft. Like everybody was like, "Oh, Lafreniere is going to be an amazing prospect." Then look at the draft lottery, and of course, one guy drops a ball a little too early, and it just happened to be the Rangers' ball, and that got the number 1 pick.
Yeah, I'll say this with the Flyers, it's been a rough road the last couple of years. I do turn the page on the chapter of that, getting rid of Provy. I think they need to get rid of Konechny. I think he needs to go. At this point, I think he is what he is. I don't think he's anything special.
Well, Alvarado is available.
Yeah. I do think I don't like the idea of trading Carter Hart.
I don't like it either.
I know he's kind of at this point one of your only real
Still young enough.
assets, but
Still young enough.
way young.
Still young enough to be here when you're competing. So be careful with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We've given up on way too many goals. We just had one of our former goaltenders in the finals, in Bobrovsky, who's been an absolute beast since the day we traded him because we gave up on him too soon.
Yep.
We have a history of trading goaltenders right before they hit their stride. And to me, Carter Hart is the most talented of all of them at this point. I would not move him. Everybody else to me is on the table. I like Kevin Hayes, but trade Kevin Hayes.
Yeah.
I don't care if I don't know who anybody is other than him, other than Carter Hart.
I mean, I would try to get rid of that terrible Risto contract too. Like,
yeah. Well, I believe in, to your point, Frank, I believe in Danny Briere, and not just him. I think one of the smartest moves they made was to hire Keith Jones.
Exactly.
Keith Jones is so well respected. He's obviously, I know he does our games here, but he's also he covers it nationally. He's one of the most, I think he's won like an Emmy for his coverage.
He has, yeah.
He's so well respected in the game.
Mm-hmm.
He knows talent evaluation. To me, he was an absolute great. And I don't like bringing Tom. How many times we talk about this? Phillies and everybody else. I don't love this. Let's bring the old guard, the organizational guys back. But the two guys they chose to kind of spearhead this next chapter, I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
Listen, I was eating because you're on a roll, babe, and you're spot on. You know what I mean? When it comes to the Flyers stuff, you're spot on. This brought me back. I'll now watch bad hockey for the next couple of years with these guys running the show.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because now I trust.
right.
Now I got some trust in me, right? And a big first out here by Jose.
Huge.
Ground out the third too. Not able to move the runner. Same thing happened with us, right?
Are we putting Walker on base now and going for the double play here?
I do. I don't. Well, I don't know. Not with Alvarado on the mound, maybe not. But
Right.
just because of his tendency to walk guys, you know what I mean? That I don't know if I want to.
Face anyway. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. He might. There we go. Good start. But you know what I mean? Though, like I don't know if I want more guys on base with him pitching.
No, I get it. I just always feel like with this rule, it's so huge to get that first, especially when you already have the one run. It's so huge to get that first out that I almost always want to set up for the double play.
Ooh, that's a good question, Mike. I like that. Fletcher was the worst Flyers GM in franchise history, or Hextall? Ooh. That's a good one.
Oh, it's a little up. Come on, Jose.
In fairness, I think Bobby Clark, although he had good years, had really awful years too in his job, and he was there for so long. Flyers haven't had a whole ton of GMs.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bilo, stay with us, brother. He said not many people cover Phillies on YouTube, so thanks guys for streaming. Yeah, I mean, we're big Phillies guys here. Oh, Walker.
We're giving you Phillies. We're even giving you hockey tonight. I mean,
Walker
3-0.
A little
doing hockey.
Give me a little bit of everything.
Little dabble.
Walker just 3-0 freaking daddy hacked.
Somebody hit this jackass in this fucking cat costume.
Yeah, please. Can we get a foul ball just to get it to 3-2 off the jackass? Come on, Jose. Come on. Make Bilo right.
There we go.
Bilo, make Bilo right.
There you go. Working back to a full count.
Remember when he said they should have pitched him as their Anthony? So that's what I'm saying. Like, make Bilo right. Make him right. This would be such a huge, rebound if they can find a way.
Right.
Figure out a way somehow. Come on, Jose.
To answer that question, Frank.
Yeah.
It's a hard question because they would have to be probably the two in that. And if I didn't believe in Hextall to get them over the top, but I also think that Fletcher, even though he got them to a point where they were very competitive. And I think if you didn't have that COVID year, they were so hot going into that.
Right.
I think they might have had a shot to at least get to the conference finals.
Stay in. Stay in.
The wheels fell off really, really quick.
Yeah.
So for that alone, taking into account that this was Hextall's kind of first real executive job as a decision maker, he didn't really get too long of a leash to be able to make those mistakes. I would have to go Fletcher.
I mean, and looking at that Stanley Cup team, a lot of those were, I think a significant amount of those were Hextall's guys too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So, and I liked where Hextall was going with, building within the prospect pools. I mean, we had a great young core coming up.
He was hinky though. He was never going over when was the process going to end?
Right.
Like I feel like the Flyers were going through their own process. So
I think it was just the pieces were there. It was just when were they ready to go at Lehigh Valley? Where it's like, all right, you're ready to go up to the big club.
He wanted to continue to go though. He wanted to continue to not add talent to the team to make a run for the playoffs.
Right.
And that's where my issue was I did feel like, at least at the time, when you looked at guys like TK, Carter Hart, Provy, some of these other young guys who were contributing, he was never ready to add guys at that level to make a playoff.
Yeah.
And I do think they were close enough. The problem was
the
wheels fell off. I love the Ryan Ellis deal. I think Ryan Ellis was a stud player.
I mean, I liked Ryan Ellis too, but man,
played 3 games and then I don't even know if he's ever going to play again.
Yeah.
All right, Gabriel Morano is pinch hitting. So,
all right.
We got one out here, first and second. Bottom 10, Phillies lead 4-3. Alvarado on the mound. Need a double play.
Okay. These fucking guys throwing balls in the dirt to start a count bothers me. You're flirting with trouble.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I do got to go with Fletcher as the worst Flyers GM.
Yeah, me too.
That's my answer.
The better question is who's the worst Sixers GM of all time?
Ooh. Oh, geez.
A lot of lean years in there.
Yeah.
Some of those 90 years, Eric Montross.
Yeah, it was.
One you got the Bree Felton Brand year.
I don't think
1-1 from Alvarado. Oh, just misses low. 2-1. I don't know how guys lay off some of his pitches. They're so freaking fast. You got to make up your mind to swing out the hand.
He's got good movement too.
Yeah.
There it is. Beautiful.
Good cut.
101 on the corner.
There we go.
Hector says he has a bad feeling. I hope you're wrong, Hector. Hope a little double play ball happens right here. A little 4-6-3.
Oh. Man, I thought that was going Oppo for a second.
Yeah.
Let's go. Pound the like if you want a double play.
Hey, Phillies live reactions. Why not have extra innings, right?
2-2.
Beautiful.
Got him.
Wow. Right on the corner.
That a baby. 2 down. 2 down. He was batting like over 300 versus lefties, too. Not this lefty. Not if he's on. Oh, that late bite, dude. That late bite is hard to hit. Holy
it's like that. It's like it has a little extra giddy up halfway to the plate.
Oh, that's that face, Carroll. Good start. Good start. Please strike him out.
No,
Please strike him out.
Fuck your birthday.
Yeah. With all due respect.
Yeah.
He's like the hottest hitter on the planet.
Happy birthday, but no.
He's like the hottest hitter on the planet right now. 0-2. Had a baby. Come on, Jose. Come on, Jose.
I don't like the location of that pitch, though. That was like center cut up.
Come on.
I'm
Come on.
almost going down and away here.
Yeah. Need JT to work.
Here, okay.
Okay. Hit the. Okay.
That's a good pitch, Joe. What was that? I didn't see the pitch selection. What was it?
I think that was just a heater.
Everything freaking moved.
I'm going down and away with the heater here.
I might even go up. Yeah, I might go. We're going backed up the ladder, Chrome. Backed up the ladder here. Go up it.
Oh.
They're pounding them inside.
How do you even hit that? The fact that he even can foul that off is truly amazing. Man, he hits lefties well. For a young guy. You know what I mean? For a young guy.
I'm almost going shoulder level up and away here.
Yeah, I don't want him to get his hands extended. Okay. Ground ball
and game.
Oh, let's go, baby. Jose with a tremendous job here in the bottom of the 10th. Phillies win 4-3. 500 baseball at 33-33. Let's go. Let's go.
Got him with it down and away.
Yeah, Ethan. Yeah, imagine sitting around for 3 hours and the first guy you got to see is Alvarado.
Shit.
Not easy. But listen, this just shows you, right? A tough-minded baseball team, right? You blow a 3-run lead, bottom 8, and you're able to find a way to still get out of here with a dub. Huge.
These are games this team isn't winning early in the year.
Yep, huge win. And Ranger Suarez is obviously the player of the game on TV, but he was our player of the game too.
Yeah.
Heck of a job.
100%.
And Nicky C delivers in a big spot, top 10, with a ball that probably leaves most places, the dead center, but enough to get the sack flying, enough to do the job and get Marshy in. And, gives a 4-3 lead. Alvarado comes in, gets the first guy to ground out the third, walks Walker, strikes out Moreno, and gets a ground out by Carroll to end it. So tremendous job from him.
It's just good baseball, Tom.
Yep.
Even going back to the first run on the board, Bryson Stott, grounder opposite side to first base, gets the runner in from third. Same thing here. Nicky doesn't have to hit out of the ballpark. They don't have to crush home runs and hit doubles and triples.
I'm wrong. 34-34. I don't know. But either way, 500.
So it is situational baseball, guys. That's what you saw tonight.
Yeah, big time. Big
Good
time situational baseball. And tomorrow you got Aaron Nola on the mound for the Phillies and Ryan Nelson on the mound for the D-backs. So see if Nola can deliver tomorrow. Because that's a tough way to lose if you're the Diamondbacks too. It's a tough way to lose. You come all the way back, you tie it, and then you have another blunder tonight. Another blunder, lack communication, guys collide. Had a whole thing set up. Whole thing got set up off of they gave it back away. So if you're a Diamondbacks fan, you feel like you gave this game away in a way.
Listen, you're recapping our conversation from earlier. You get that catapult, you get that big series win against Detroit, get a little confidence. You go out, you beat the Dodgers. You take 2 out of 3 against the Dodgers. And in a 4-game series, you're guaranteed at least a split with Arizona going in to a series against Oakland.
Yeah.
That's success right there.
And the Oakland A's are losing right now. Breaking news.
Wow.
6-3. So Moneyball 2 may be coming to an end in Oakland. But listen, this has been a tremendous show. We would love to stay on longer with you, but some of us do have work as well. Yeah. And the people out there.
But we hung in for the fam.
Listen, that's what matters. I mean, like I said, what a win. What a win. What a freaking win. We got some Flyers talking. We got a little Sixers talking. But the one thing I'll say, the James Harden things that Doc talked about is telling. All right, it's telling. Like, he feels like there's a way to win and moving without the basketball. And he pretty much said he's too old to do that. He's a one-on-one basketball player from here on out. And with knowing that, I'm out on James Harden. Let Tyrese Maxey run the show. This has been A2D Wednesday nights, only on A2D Radio. And every Wednesday, we are brought to you by Phillies Sports Trips. Go book your getaway today. PhillySportsTrips.com is where you can find them. Listen, if you book an Eagles trip, the guys you get to hang out with and rub shoulders with is tremendous. So, and not only that, you're not staying there like dumbs. They're putting you up in the best places, and there's stuff that goes on, throughout the experience, right? Not only just going to the game, but the tailgate, everything that goes into it. So make sure you go check out our good friends at PhillySportsTrips.com. Cromer, Frankie, I'm Tom. Everybody out there, we love you. We appreciate you. Turn your damn alerts on. Hit the like and subscribe, and go to bed.